Nonie Darwish, a daughter of a leading Egyptian jihadist, was raised in Gaza to hate Jews and see Israel as the enemy. But as she grew older, she realized that she had been taught lies. In today's incredible video, we'll see her discussing about Islamophobia, Islam in the United States, and more. Please watch this video all the way through, without skipping, so you can teach your uneducated friends about this topic. Let's get to the video.
One of the reasons why these kinds of conversations are so difficult is because I'd imagine that, like you, as it is with me, people will start labeling you Islamophobic or anti-Arab if you say anything critical whatsoever of any country in the Middle East aside from Israel. You're considered an Islamophobe. It's really not in vogue to speak critically. Do people call you like anti-Egyptian or anti-Arab when you say the type of harsh things you're saying?
Arab culture is a culture that's based on pride and shame. So you should always be proud of your heritage, and it's a shame on you if you criticize it. So self-criticism is not one of the values that we learn as we grow up in the Middle East. It's criticize the other, criticize Israel, criticize the Jews, criticize the Christians, criticize people who are not 100% pro this or that. So I understand why they view me like that, but I really have, I see a lot of beauty in Middle Eastern culture and Arab culture in general. But at the same time, I see the horrendous oppression of other religions and other, people who are different.
It took my mom a long time to figure it out. I remember as a 7-year-old here in Los Angeles, my mom taking us to visit a mosque. And I was wearing a top just like this. And I remember the dress. And when my mom took us to visit, because my mom was born and raised as a Muslim, and she came here and she took us to a mosque. I grew up half Christian, half Muslim to a certain point. And when my mom took us to the local mosque here in Los Angeles, they looked at me and said, "Don't bring her back with this shirt. And it's a good idea to wear a headscarf." And my mom said, I never wore a headscarf.
Just to be fair, in some synagogues around the US or other places around the world, you are going to get looks if you're not dressed in a modest way. In some synagogues, it's not going to take place. In some reformed synagogues, but just to be fair, I don't want to be biased here.
Egypt, in fact, none of my family have. And they said, well, we're not here to assimilate. And my mom...
The message was don't assimilate. In America.
And don't bring your daughter back with her arms showing. Come back with a headscarf and her covered. And my mom said...
When I saw this, the purpose, the message is don't assimilate in America. I never wanted to go again.
Yeah.
Because that's not why I came to America. I came to America because I appreciate this culture that gave me freedom and gave me so much. So why hate it when I'm living in it? So I stopped going to the...
Why hate it when I'm living in it is a beautiful sentence to all the people burning the American flags when they live in the USA, opposing the American values, opposing the Western values. Don't be here. You can get the hell out. Leave. You don't support the country you live in? Leave.
Mosque, and I lived like without any spirituality in my life at all for a long, long time.
Well, is it possible that at these mosques here in America, what they mean by not wanting you to assimilate is that they don't want you to stop being a Muslim, but you could still become an American? Or is it that they don't want you to become a Christian? Maybe that's what they mean?
I think it was more than that. It's like we have to teach them to become Muslim, not they teach us the freedoms in America or whatever. I mean, if a person actually goes to the mosque, it means you're still respecting your religion.
Mm-hmm.
So why tell them don't assimilate? You can say it in a different... I didn't like the way they said it. They could say, we're here, we love America. They could have said, We're here, we love America and all what America is giving it to us. But let's not forget that we are still Muslims and we're proud of our culture. If they had said it this way, I can understand. But don't assimilate has, first of all, to live in a culture without assimilation takes a lot more energy from a person than if you assimilate.
Look how her daughter looks at her so proud. Warms my heart.
Because the norm is you become part and parcel of the society around you. If there's a language, you automatically start learning it. If you live in France, you will eventually speak French. So for them to tell me don't assimilate, that will take a lot of energy from me. That's against the tide. So I didn't feel that I liked the attitude.
I visited a second mosque out of state, and they said in no uncertain terms, the parishioners there, that Sharia law would be brought to America.
Guys. The problem in the West is that we don't understand what the Muslims and Islam is telling us to our face. They say it to our faces. They want to bring Sharia law to America. They want to bring Sharia law to the UK and to France and to Australia and to any place that is not currently Muslim. Dar al-Islam and Dar al-Kharab. The place of Islam and the place of war. As long as this place doesn't belong to Islam, it is considered to be the place of war. And until it becomes the place of Islam, it will continue to be the place of war. Intifada, revolution, aywa. Guys, so that's about that. They tell it to our faces. They say it to us. We just choose to ignore it. So open your eyes. Second thing, the term Islamophobia. I get so many messages about this. You're being an Islamophobe. Stop being an Islamophobe. Guys, phobia means irrational fear. Islamophobia means irrational fear from Islam. The fear of Islam is incredibly rational, whether you like it or not. After all the terror attacks that took place since the 7th century against non-Muslims, it is incredibly rational to fear Islam and the teachings of Islam. So the term Islamophobia, to me, is irrelevant. Irrelevant. If you're against Muslims, that's something different. But if you're against the teachings of Islam, the violent teachings of Islam, that teach Muslims to go and do jihad until people become Muslim, or until they pay the jizya. I know that now there's no jizya. Only ISIS poses jizya on some people. But the fact that the holy book, that the code of laws of Islam teaches you that, is a bit messed up. And they're going to try and pose that on other people. That's why very few Muslims condemn Hamas. That's why very few Muslims condemn the other terrorist organizations. Because it aligns with the Quran. It goes specifically according to the Quran. The people who commit these attacks are not less Muslims. They're exactly what Allah is expecting from them according to their book. I'm not saying that that's what God is expecting. So open your eyes. It's all in front of us. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking. How do you say it? Thank you for sticking until now. And until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please, I'm trying to grow it. Please subscribe, guys. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.